Howdy, folks. Good afternoon. Welcome to the Digital Weather Desk, powered by Century Next Bank. I'm Jared Floyd. It is lunchtime, or a little after lunchtime on this New Year's Eve. Not going to spend too much time on the forecast today, simply because it stays very quiet through the rest of today and really through the rest of the week, with some changes really not until the end of next week. So there's not a lot to be really adjusted in the forecast as we go through the next few hours and into the nighttime hours tonight. Today's forecast made possible by ServPro, Monroe, West Monroe, faster to any size disaster. Water, mold, fire damage, call or click servpro.com today. Temperatures are in the upper 50s to low 60s across the area shortly after noon, or now approaching the 1 o'clock time frame. And the winds have generally stayed fairly light and manageable, but probably picking up a tad as we go through the rest of the afternoon. Futurecast made possible by Bayou Power Sports. I-20 frontage road in Monroe. Upper 30s to low 40s as we hit midnight tonight. So if you are ringing in the new year outdoors, make sure that you keep the jacket handy. Most of us will bottom out in the upper 30s to near 40 degrees by sunrise tomorrow morning, aiming for mid to upper 60s for highs tomorrow afternoon, the first day of the new year. The warming trend continues through the day on Friday, pushing most of us back into the 70s ahead of a weak cold front. That'll reset temperatures as we go into the upcoming weekend. We'll talk more about that in just a minute. As I mentioned, winds are generally fairly manageable out of the south and the west and the southwest. In the 5 to 10 mile an hour range, those winds are generally closer to calm as you move across much of southern Arkansas. A look at the satellite image, the high resolution visible satellite, and it is again a virtually cloudless day across the ArkLaMiss. We weren't really expecting to see cloud cover, nor will we see any as we go through the next several hours. Your radar is always made possible by Brown's Roofing. You can always schedule your free roof inspection at brownsroofingla.com. Do that when the weather's good, not when the weather's bad. Again, not happening in terms of rainfall across the region in the short term. Winds are out of the south, could allow for some rain chances as early as Friday. They are very isolated rain chances with an area of low pressure that will likely deepen across the region, part of a deepening upper level disturbance that, as I mentioned this morning, really kind of peaks in its strength once it gets east of our area late in the day on Friday. Takes the best rain chances through the Tennessee Valley in the southeast, leaves us sun-filled, or at least for most of the area through the latter half of the weekend. We could contend with the cloud cover through the early part of the day on Saturday. But late Sunday, sunshine starts to win back over, paves the way to sunshine through the daytime hours on Monday. Most of the early half of next week still looks dry, but we start to allow the return flow of moisture, warm, humid air ahead of something late next week into that next weekend that could bring some more dramatic pattern changes across the central United States. Again, that's about as specific as we can be right now, but it does look like a more active weather pattern could be headed our way by the end of next week. That's how things shape up for now. Could it still change? Absolutely. That's what the forecast does. Forecast highs over the next 7 days. Again, peak in the mid-70s on Friday. The cold front drops us back into the 60s Saturday, Sunday. Try to rebound a little bit Monday. But overall, still above normal for this time of year. Average high should be in the upper end of the 50s, and we'll stay above that really through the next week. Low 60s for highs today. Lots of sunshine. Winds will be out of the west-southwest 5 to 10. Again, if you are planning New Year's Eve festivities tonight, make sure that you celebrate responsibly. We'll look for temperatures generally in the low to mid-40s across most of the ArkLaMiss tonight and into early tomorrow morning. Mostly clear skies. Rain won't be a factor. So again, just make sure that you celebrate responsibly so that way everybody can get home safely and start the new year off tomorrow. Sherry, it is a beautiful day out there, and more of the same really headed our way tomorrow. We will contend with a little bit more cloud cover tomorrow, especially late in the day. Lows tonight, eventually reaching the upper 30s to near 40. Again, we'll spend most of the night in the low to mid-40s. Those overnight lows are usually hit right before sunrise. Your 7-day forecast made possible by 3B Hardware shows daytime highs mid to upper 60s on Thursday, mid-70s Friday, and then that cold front wiggles its way through the area. A little bit of a reset temperature-wise for the early part, or for the weekend and the early parts of next week, but overall still above normal for this time of year with morning lows in the 40s and 50s. Rain chances could start to tick back up by the end parts of next week, but we just don't know yet. It is a trend that we will continue to watch simply because A, it could kick off a fairly active weather pattern, and B, there's not a whole lot happening between now and then. So that's a look at the forecast at midday. Again, I didn't want to spend too much time when, let's be honest, there's not a whole lot going on, and folks are just kind of setting up for tonight. And of course, tomorrow's a pretty chill day for most of us. A lot of folks take the day off for New Year's Day and all that kind of stuff. So just wanted to set you up with the forecast, which remains quiet. And you can always check that forecast at digitalweatherdesk.com and on the Digital Weather Desk app, available for Apple and Android users. I'll check in with you one more time a little bit later today. We'll also have your fish and game forecast made possible by First South Farm Credit a little bit later tonight. We will also have a little bit more year-end review. We're looking at the coldest temperatures of the year a little bit later this evening. I still need to work on that. In fact, I'm going to get to go work on that right now. Phil Smith, my buddy Phil, like literally when I say my buddy, like best man in the wedding, Phil, what's your New Year's Eve drink of choice? It will likely be, let's get really wild and crazy here. I think I may have a Diet Coke. I may go buy a bottle of champagne for me and the wife. Probably not, though, because I don't feel like leaving the house again, and we may be in bed by 8 o'clock. It's been the holidays are there's something. But thanks for joining us, Phil. Happy New Year, buddy, and I'll talk to you soon. Thanks so much for stopping by. I hope that's the Philip Smith I think it is. If not, then this guy thinks that we're way closer buddies than we actually are. Forecast is always available at digitalweatherdesk.com and on the Digital Weather Desk app. I'll check in with you later today. Enjoy the rest of the year. I'll check in with you a little bit later today.